Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Sunday update where we go into the shorter time frames because we were going into the bigger time frames yesterday. So if you want kind of a macro outlook, if you want a video that kind of talks about the things to pay attention to for the Great Reset, that was yesterday's video. But today we are getting into those shorter time frames. I have updated weekly expected moves. So let's get out of this weekly chart. Let's go start off on the 2-hour chart and let's get into it. So for today, I'm going to get you guys those weekly expected moves first, right? We're going to jump right into the SPY. We're going to be looking at those 2-hour charts, those 30-minute charts. We kind of have that macro perspective, but that still, really means we need to dig into this for December, right? We have those monthly expected moves where you're 75% likely to tag them. And the weekly expected moves are right in there as well. So 697.69 to the upside, 673.69 to the downside. The first thing I wanted to do before talking about daily expected moves was go over the overall bullish and bearish scenario for the 2-hour chart, right? Because the 2-hour chart is going to be the overall chart that I would pay attention to for those scenarios. And right now, what are we looking like? Well, as of right now, you would say, what? We kind of look like we're squeezing in some way. It can continue, right? It's not necessarily a market you want to bet against. So the bullish thing that could happen here as we go into the 30-minute chart, and we'll talk about those divergences, we do think that a 2-hour pullback to come and take care of this gap, get people nice and bearish, come down to this type of level. I think this would be a potential opportunity to potentially see more upside. I think this would be a very good bullish scenario to pay attention to. And this would be one of those times where if this were to set up, right, this would be the market proving to give you the opportunity. But there are great buyers in this level. You have a gap fill at that level, and you have your weekly expected move of 673.69. We don't have to do anything more than that. I mean, we can add up more and more. There's a 5-day moving average there. You just took out this level. If you want the structure to head higher that we mentioned way back in these times, then this would be something to pay attention to. I think this would be a great bullish scenario to pay attention to because as you come out of those 68% zones, you're 68% more likely to close into the expected moves by the end of the week, by Friday close. You'd pay attention if you come out of this very, very early as you're testing the 5-day and filling a gap. So this is something that I would really, really watch for. Now, I'm going to take one little blip here because I did see one comment, someone asking, why is it a 68% zone? It is a normal bell curve, and we discuss this thoroughly in the full technical analysis course, okay? We discuss and we draw it out for you guys, right? And we actually talk about it. So if you want to actually trust these, it's very important to understand those probabilities. And we have a whole section where we describe exactly what those calculations are, what you're getting, and what data is being used to calculate these ranges. I wanted to mention that. The next thing, right, where that was just a blip, we're going right back into the bullish case here. The next thing is, as you have not really seen like a sporadic move, anything like that, you're just kind of dragging this out. If people keep shorting this market and the market makers, everyone wants to head to the upside, if they have liquidity for it, you can just continue. So if this is able to cross up into positive territory, you might just head to that weekly expected move. This would be where if we get there, bulls, especially early on in the week, you would want to take your foot off the gas. So I am really, really liking scenario number one for me. I really, really like this. If you know, I got in with the 2-hour divergence outside our monthly expected move. Thank you guys so much for paying attention to that information and not thinking a stock market crash was coming because the signals suggested the opposite. But I actually got out of those positions before this gap. I said, hey, at this level, we could pull back. So I got out of all my longs pretty much at this point. And I'm wanting that pullback. So I do want that pullback because I'm very good at reading when we're going to pull back normally. And so this would be a very good time. And if you stack this up to, hey, let's look at the 30-minute just for a quick second, you can see all those divergence points. We are kind of violating one. This is why squeeze could be on the table. We're going to go into the 30-minute after we get through the bearish case. What would you have to see here in order to get real nice and bearish? I think you would need to see a lower high to really dictate like, yes, we are seeing that bear scenario. So this would mean you're actually going to potentially lose a price point of, I would say 671, maybe 670. Come down below those levels, come down into something like 664 to 665. and then you actually react up. Maybe you close back into these ranges, but you see that roll. We have to lose that 5-day moving average. So I'm really leaning towards not necessarily a divergence here for the bears. We'll pay attention to divergences up in these levels, up towards 700 later on. But I think that this is your bearish scenario you would really be looking for as far as it stands. The reason for that is because your MACD is still extremely positive. So you would need to see a time where you curl down into negative territory very, very close, just like you did right over here. You see the dump, but then you get that big reaction like it's coming back, but it's really close to the center line. I think bears would be very good to be paying attention to that. So let's jump into the 30-minute chart and talk about how a downward move is kind of what I'm leaning towards. And I'm going to go into more charts in a moment, like volatility and things like that. I can really show you these things. We do notice that divergence is getting kind of violated right now, right? Getting violated in some way if you wanted to pull it out to an hourly. But as far as shape goes, hey, if you curl up into positive territory, what's going to happen? Right? Test the high, go make a new one, right? That's just a simple rule we say all the time. So if this is able to curl up, right, you're able to get a confirmation, curl up into positive territory, it's like very likely that by the end of the day, sometime during the day, you'll hit 689.30, right? This is your 68% zone. But if you wanted to set up some kind of structure to the downside to show that downside move, because you don't have much implied, you have more implied volatility from last week to this week, but you have less implied volatility for Monday than, say, last Friday. So this tells us overall the market is expecting a sluggish day. We could see surprises, but overall 689.30, 682.08 to the downside. So the way to go up, right, cross up on that MACD. The way to go down here is to set up, I would say, some sort of little head and shoulders like this. We see some kind of reaction. We get that rolling to begin, and we're able to head to the downside. What I will be looking for, and I'm just going to give you this right now as a heads up, if we do end up, notice I said if, not when, but if we do end up getting the market to prove to give us a pullback, we would need to see hints down here of a 30-minute divergence or a 30-minute higher low in that area. That's a lot of drawings, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I will be looking for a 30-minute divergence or a 30-minute higher low at the bottom side weekly expected move for an opportunity, and I wanted to let you guys know that. So let's go over into the Qs. Let's not spend too much time on this. Let's keep it nice and simple because that's pretty much all the information that the chart is saying right in front of you. You know how we like to do it. We like to do it a little bit backwards for the Qs, right? We like to kind of challenge ourselves, do it from bigger to small, do it from smaller to big. So we'll give you guys the weekly expected moves first, just in case, but 640.20 to the upside, 610.76 to the downside. In this case, we are going to talk about the daily moves, so let's give those out as well. Your daily 68% zone for tomorrow is going to be 629.99. Notice it is very small, and you have 620.97. So if we wanted to, if this curls up, right, I don't care if it just curled down, but if this is able to curl up into positive territory at any moment, you would suggest that we are going to do what? Test the high, go make a new one. Now, I do want to pay attention if this curls up, fails immediately, right? Sets another divergence point, or it's able to pull down early on, and then we see it curl up. I want to be a little bit cautious about a move like this because of the structure, right? The bear structure to overall head down would be something like this. Now, what we're looking for here is most likely, at least if I'm being patient and looking for the opportunity, I am looking for a potential 2-hour pullback. If you notice the structure, what we talked about with the hanging man candle, right? I told you that people are going to use that as some bearish thing to say, this is the action, this is the top, or we're going to curl down, this is the lower high candle. And I'm like, you don't want to base your whole analysis off of one candle. You want to look at what's going on. And overall, the 2-hour did not suggest at all from the Qs that we were going to see some kind of disruption here. We still can. Now we're going to go into the bullish and bearish scenarios and give you those critical levels that I see fit. As far as my trading history goes, we see that we were able to do what we suggested, which was let's peek our head above this place right here. Let's peek our head above, and then on Monday, we potentially pull back. We pull back down into the weekly expected move of about 610.76. Now you notice this. 610.76 would not cover the gap, so we most likely will come outside of that if we see some kind of downward move. Now, if this downward move is aggressive, we watch out for the bear scenario, right? We lose that 5-day moving average. We start to use it and reject. We're going to have to pay attention to the bear scenario. But as of right now, your MACD is seriously in positive territory. So is your RSI. So is everything on the SPY. So to say that this is going to tear down is just saying it too early. It can tear down, but people who would say that now either have more info than us or they're guessing at this point, right? They would like it to happen. Their positions would like it to happen. But one thing I rarely do is see a 2-hour move that goes into positive territory, goes above the 5-day moving average, and then take a short position at the high. No, we would wait for a 30-minute lower high. You could wait for a 2-hour lower high as well, right? So that would be the bear side. The bull side, though, I think you're very good to come fill this gap. You can come a little bit deeper. You can go into 606. I'll overall be talking to Patreon most likely this week about the Qs and the SPY if we get down to these levels. Hopefully we make some kind of hint down here, and then we just curl up into positive territory, right? As long as this remains positive, curls up into positive territory, I think this will be the shot where you're actually going to test this level up here. And if you're able to break through, then I think you might have 2 more little moves going into either the end of December or the beginning of January. So I do see some disruption in early 2026. That being said, we have to build to that moment, right? I'm just making people aware of it early. But hey, the structure we were talking about, the break of this level after the hangman, we said, hey, they're probably going to break this level if they want to go higher. Hey, look, we broke that level. So curling down into this area and curling up into positive territory gives you some great structure to the upside. And as long as you're not losing the 5-day moving average, as long as you are not making a lower high, you seem pretty good for this 2-hour chart. And there are things to talk about when it comes to, say, bearishness, right? We have a ton of signals from volatility. Now, these are normally going to be what? These are people hedging. I really do think that this is people hedging. This behavior here does not look like some kind of setup for a trap right now. It could set up for a trap later. Okay, so what I'm overall getting at here is these 2-hour signals don't look pretty enough to really get this daily chart screaming to the upside. These 2-hour signals look like they could cause a reaction, but you're so low below the 5-day moving average that you would want to see that move take that back and kind of curl up into positive territory. So one of the shapes I am looking for, if it's going to get dramatic all of a sudden, right, is if that daily chart does curl up. But if we're able to see us like get a reading above 1850, we make some sort of structure and we're able to see a higher low. I am overall being patient for volatility to give me a higher low. Volatility is one of my favorite things to trade. I trade volatility more than I trade the SPY. And I traded volatility more than anything else in 2025, actually. It was a lot of fun. But as it stands, we do see those 2-hour divergences down there. They are getting violated over and over and over again on this RSI. They're just completely getting wiped out multiple times, but they are still there from the original point. So we will be keeping our eye on it. The 30-minute chart is just roll after roll after roll. So I think that this is people thinking, hey, something bad could happen. That's what it seems like. Because if you were going to see an actual like top, you normally don't see it like this. You see it more so in a way that's more of a, you will get some kind of bounce like this and then you'll just pop off, right? It doesn't linger. Or you'll get another one and then it will pop off. You don't see this kind of weird wonky behavior too often, right? When you're going to pop off into positive territory or start to climb or something like that into positive territory, you'll see a dip and another dip, and then you'll go. And you'll see just a plain divergence like this, see one higher low, and then be off to the races as you go into positive territory. So I wanted to mention that you do see more fearful hedging, in my opinion. If that changes, I will change, and I will make sure to update you on Patreon during market hours, but on YouTube as well after hours. So as it stands, 30-minute chart for volatility is really wonky. The 2-hour chart, I would really be looking for what? I would be looking for some kind of higher low before judging that the daily chart is just going to curl up all of a sudden. We'll see what happens with Monday, but as of right now, the implied volatility for Monday is pretty darn small. So at the end of this video, let's just go over one thing that I think is very, very probable, and actually the most probable scenario here with the confirmations we have right now is that in this area, we could peak our head above this, but since we have peaked our head above this, a 2-hour pullback to test that 5-day moving average, we could see a pullback for all week. It could just drag out all the way down to here by like Thursday, Friday. I think we are going to test a price point of somewhere between 672 to 670. And when we do that, we're going to find out, is this market going to be able to curl back up into positive territory? Because right now, your MACD and your RSI would suggest that this is a great opportunity. And it would suggest the same thing for the Qs, that it would be a great little opportunity. So I'll be monitoring it. I will be updating you. So make sure you're subscribed. And thank you so much for watching this video. Like we said yesterday, guys, there is limited seats left for the full technical analysis course at the $100 price point. Once we do upgrade that, so that'll take about a month. So it will be $100 for the next month. If you want to snag that, if you want to learn about a lot of the stuff we're talking about, whoever asked the question about the 68% zones, if you want to learn that, it is very, it's worth like $100 just to learn that alone. Just to have confidence in these ranges and use your trading skills around them. Man, that is worth $100 alone right there. So there is so much more than that in the course. But I hope that whoever is interested in learning, you get it while it lasts, because there is some limited seating. And I think by the end of the month, we might be upgrading that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great, great rest of your day. Go spend some time with family. Go eat some good food and stay warm out there, because it's freaking cold out here and I don't like the cold. All right. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.